Hey, everybody. Guess what? It's my world, and you're welcome to it. Hey, we've got some stuff to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff going on. And before we get going, do you know we always have to do a disclaimer? Yeah, we always do. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. Take what we say with a big grain of salt and always do your own research and due diligence. We're not responsible for and expressly disclaim all liability for damages of any kind arising out of use, reference to, or reliance on any information contained in this broadcast. And any persons or characters mentioned are, for the most part, fictional or as close to it as we can get. So you want to sit back, relax, and chill out. Did you bring your own snacks? Did you bring your own beverage? You're going to need it. And tell your friends about the show and have them join us every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Wow. I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff's been going on, and Trim Radio Network is really starting to take off. And we really appreciate you watching the shows, especially My World. And then on Sunday at 7 p.m., we have Money and Change. And we'll be talking about a lot of stuff that's going on in the financial world. Maybe we can save you some money on that show too. But tonight we kind of kick back and we'll talk about a few things. And I've got a restaurant I need to talk about. Boy, was it a good thing for a good cause too. And a lot of different things. So, we always have shout outs. And I want to see if we can do this right. All these buttons I have to push anymore. And let's see if we can do it. Oh no, it's not coming up. Son of a gun, what's going on here? Oh my goodness. It's not working. The gremlins are at it again. Let's see if we can get the screen shared again. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Let's see if I can do this again. This is unusual. The goblins are out there. Boy, I'll tell you what, somebody must have put the whammy on me. Let's see if we got that. Come on. There we go. Hey, let's talk about the Trim Radio Network. Now that we have the goblins out of it. Anyhow, guys, we've got the Trim Radio Network and we have a lot of different shows, and you can sign up for free. We have Adventure Awaits Around the Bend, and that's a Spotify broadcast. We have Branched Up with Tigger and Beck, and that's also on YouTube and Spotify. We have Life Walk with Christ God with Michael Bejas, and that's going to be on Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. We have Money and Change. Of course, that's going to be every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. We have Offsides College Football Top 25. Maybe they ought to be working on basketball now. Almost. I think we've got maybe one more football game to do, and that's about it. But anyhow, check them out. And that's Michael Bejas has that one on Rumble and YouTube and also Spotify. Also, we have My World, Live, Laugh, and Whatever, Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. We have the Positude podcast. We have Riscala's Red Pill Reality Show. He always says you can take the blue pill or you can take the red pill. But I always tell Riscala, I want the green pill. I like the green pill, Nah, he hasn't found that yet. Hey, check out Victoria Smith's Natural Marketer podcast. If you want to learn how to market your business, you want to check that one out, okay? She's very good at what she does. And if you want to support the show, you can buy the merchandise. Yeah, we got to sell something. And what we do in supporting the station, you can either donate money, you can buy airtime for advertising, or buy the merchandise. And we've got the On-Air Trim Radio Network Black Mug. We've got airtime fees. You can do that. We've got the Bull Eye VIP membership. You can join that. We've got the Trim Radio Network 22-ounce vacuum insulated bottle. Hey, that's a good one. We also have the Radio Bull unisex jersey long sleeve t-shirt. We've got hoodies. We've got a lot of other things. Okay. Help support the show, buy the merchandise. And guess what? When you do that, the money goes strictly for airtime. We don't take any money for anything. It just goes to airtime. That's all we do. And your support helps us out to get the word out because by being on YouTube and Rumble and Spotify, we go worldwide. I mean, I've got people in Myanmar, which used to be Burma, India, South Africa, other parts of Africa, Europe, South America, and North America that listen to the show because we're live and we are on the web. And that's a good thing to do. But anyhow, that's what we've got. So you want to check us out. Now, hey, if you want to do your own show, all you have to do is if you take a look at the page, it says, "Hi there. Thanks for listening to Trim Radio Network. How can I help you today?" Click on it. It says, "Have a question, enter your question below, and a representative will get right back to you." And you put your name in, your phone number. I don't care if it's your cell phone or your home phone. Put that number in. Put your message in it. You might want to say, "Hey, I want to do my own show. How can I do that?" Put that down, put your email address there, and click send. And somebody will get back with you almost instantaneously. And probably the next business day, you'll get a phone call from one of the representatives that we have. Okay? Check us out. If you want to watch us live, click the live button. If you want to listen to us live, hit that button. If you want to just partner with us, whatever. Just join us, kick back, and have fun. And that's what we want to do. And with that, we can go on to the rest of it. We also have Money and Change, and we also have the My World website on Facebook. And you can see all of our friends down at the bottom. Okay. And we have a little private group right now. One of these days, I'll open it up to public. But right now, we're just doing our little private group by invitation. And we can do that right now. But we've posted a lot of different things. And I always post before the show to tell you whether or not it's going to be live or it's an encore edition. In other words, a rerun. Generally, on My World, it's always going to be a live session on Wednesday nights. However, during concert season, Money and Change will have some encore editions, and those will be posted in advance because I can't do a concert and do a show at the same time. That's a difficult thing. So you have to check both sites, okay? But generally, My World is going to be live every Wednesday night. You go to our page, and I always post up there our shout outs. The University of Findlay, a big shout out to the University of Findlay at www.findlay.edu. And if you take a look at that, hey, your journey begins at the University of Findlay. It's a very good school, and it's located in Findlay, Ohio. I've talked about it, I don't know how many times before. They're in the top 100 colleges and universities in the United States, according to Newsweek. So you want to check them out. You can get a bachelor's, a master's, or a doctoral degree there. They have 3 campuses in Findlay, Ohio. One is the hazardous materials campus. The other one is the equestrian campus. And then they also have the main campus. And this year, the University of Bluffton in Bluffton, Ohio, is now merging with the University of Findlay. So that's all in the works. And so you'll be able to go to either campus. Or is that campi? No, I guess it's campus. And you can go to either campus and you can actually take classes. So people that are going to the University of Bluffton can go up to the University of Findlay and take classes up there. It's a good deal. The University of Findlay is an NCAA Division II sports school, and the University of Bluffton is an NCAA Division III school. So check them out, the University of Findlay. It's a good school, good professors, great students, and I'll tell you what, The facilities are very good, and they have a great president by the name of Dr. Kathy Fell, and she's done a lot for that university, and it's a great school. You have to check it out. You really do. Hey, let's talk about men's basketball. Whoa, men's basketball. They were number 5 in the country, and they happened to lose one game by 2 points. Well, then they became number 9. I don't know if they're back up to number 5 yet or not, the national poll. This is what it's showing. And they have a very good basketball team this year. And I'll tell you what, you have to check them out, the University of Findlay basketball. Matter of fact, I will be up there this Saturday for a game. I can only get up there about 2 times a year to go to those games. And it's interesting. Now, see, they're saying 9 in the national poll. I don't know, 9, 5, whatever. Let's make them 5. They're very good. And the last time I really saw an excellent team was when the University of Findlay went 36-0. No losses. They won the national championship. And that was a heck of a team. And that was a few years back. But I'll tell you what, I went to as many games as I could get my hands on. Okay. So check them out, the University of Findlay. They're just not about basketball. They've got good soccer teams. They've got good football teams. They've got baseball, track, I mean, soccer, lacrosse. It's a good school, trust me. So if you like sports, NCAA Division II, it's a good school to go to. Okay. Well, Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks. You want to check them out. If you want to have a custom pen made for your club, your school, university, I don't know, sorority, fraternity, your business, you provide him the design ideas. He comes up with the concepts and the type of pens. He will go ahead and make them. They're custom. And both Michael Bejas and I have pens that are done by Phil over at Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks. You really have to check him out. He's sold pens down to Disney World. He's done trade shows in Japan, all over. I mean, he produces some excellent pieces of work. They don't leave the shop until they're absolutely perfect. And I'll tell you what, Phil over at Rusty Duck's Custom Pens and Blanks does an excellent job. Okay, so you want to check him out. Wow, where else are we going to go with this? Check out the Big Family Homestead with Brad and Krista. I've known them for a few years, and I'll tell you what, they're good people. They're out in the middle of Wisconsin, and they have issues with cold weather and snow and so forth. Hopefully, it's starting to clear up a little bit. I mean, sometimes they get 3 and 4 feet of snow out there, and I feel for them, but they're good people. They really are. Pecan Grove with Danny and Wanda King. They're down in Wiggins, Mississippi, and they talk not only about farming, they also talk about other things. I mean, a lot of different things, including the economy. And then, of course, we have LDS Prepper with David Gilmore. And you know that I always talk about David Gilmore and guess what? The GMRS radios. And down at the bottom, I have the Ocean 935G Plus radio. And there's a video for you. And I tried to put some stuff in, and I had a problem, and it wouldn't let me load a couple of things in here. And so I'm going to try to make that a little bit better next week. I might be able to do that Sunday. But Dave always talks about the GMRS radios. And when you take a look at the GMRS radios, you say, well, gee, how do you use these things? Well, they're not a ham radio. You don't have to take a test for them. Okay. But they're good to communicate with. And this is an Ocean 935G Plus, like is in the video. And with this radio and a Nagoya 771G antenna, I can talk from where I live to Dayton, Ohio. And I can get a repeater. I got to move this right. A repeater in Dayton, and I can talk about 90 miles beyond that. And it's great. Your whole family can use this. Okay, $35 for a license. It covers the whole family. You just got to follow the rules and you can communicate with this thing, okay? A long distance under the right conditions, okay? That's my disclaimer. But that means if I want to talk to relatives across town, I can do that. I can talk to them in the county, basically, from where I'm at. And there are other radios out there, but they're not blister pack radios. Trust me, this is not a blister pack radio that you get at Wally World, better known as Walmart. Okay. I got this one at Better Safe Radio, and it's a good one. I've had it for a couple of years. I love it. Matter of fact, I have more than one. So if an emergency comes down, all I have to do is break out the radios and we're ready to go. Okay. Anyhow, so much for that little plug. And we can take a look at some other things here because I've got other people to talk about. Definitely. And let's see if I can hit the magic button here to get that going here. There we go. Well, anyhow, we talked about Pecan Grove and Dave Gilmore. And there's a video that I went to put up here about Dave Gilmore and talking about setting up communications. And for some reason, it just wouldn't load. It's still there. He's done over 600 videos, and he knows a lot about communications, among other things. Also, Southern Prepper One with Dave Kobler. I've known Dave for over 15 years, and he talks about the economy and ways of saving money. Nurse Rachel, hey, Patriot Nurse, check her out. She's a real nice person. She's had a lot of nursing skills and years in different types of nursing. And she talks about how to stay healthy, as well as the economy and a few other things. Prepper Nurse One with Ed Carswell. Check out old Ed. He's building up his compound in West Virginia. He's got other people that are going to be living with him, I guess, on that land. It's kind of neat the way he's doing it. Check out Prepper Princess with Amber Stork. You have to check her out because she tells you how to save money, how to live frugally. She's a self-made millionaire, and she shows you how it's done. Also, check out The Max with Colby Mac. You want to check him out. And these are all on YouTube. And Colby talks about a lot of different things. He's a farmer from down in Mississippi, and he talks about all the problems that are going on. And, hey, that Ocean Radio, you want to check that out with David Gilmore, and I'll put some more things up. And matter of fact, I'll put links to all of these people up there because they were good people. If they weren't, I wouldn't be talking about them. Okay. So join us. Tell your friends to join us. Wow. What else is going on? Oh, yeah. We've done all of the shout outs. We've got a few other things to talk about. I was going through some stuff today, and they're rounding up a lot of the illegals. And some people say, well, that's not good. And I'm thinking if they're causing crime in Chicago and elsewhere, and it's the worst of the worst, I would round them up. I would send them back to where they came from because they're here illegally. They didn't come over with a visa. They don't have a passport. They're just here. They just walked in. And some of them are doing drugs and stuff and causing a lot of problems. There was one guy, I think I heard he had 17 felonies here in the States, and they're sending him back. Well, anyhow, the president ordered Guantanamo Bay, better known as Gitmo, to prepare for the worst criminal migrants, the worst of the worst. So maybe they can clean all that up because it's a lot of problems that we have. We don't need crime. We don't need people getting stabbed and killed and mugged and drugged and everything else. Okay, so if he can get that accomplished and deport people, that's fine. If they want to come back, make them come back legally, fill out the form work, go through the process, and come back legally. That's the key to the whole thing, is being legal. And I think that's what Trump is a very legal person. Okay, so he signed or will be signing an executive order to send the worst of the United States illegals to Guantanamo Bay in a 30,000 bed facility. Maybe he ought to send them back to the country they were in. Okay, we've got whistleblower says multiple FBI agents called in sick with the blue flu to avoid helping ICE round up criminal illegals in Chicago. If that's your job and you've sworn an oath and you're directed by higher ups to assist in rounding up illegals, that's your job. And if you want to call in sick, well, it uses up your sick time, but it could end up causing you to lose your job. I mean, if I was working and I called in sick, I better be sick because I better have a note from the doctor. If I don't have it, guess what? A lot of questions are going to be asked. Yeah, it's not going to be a fun time. Wow. A lot of stuff. I mean, why did the prior administration bring in a bunch of illegals and send them out to all the different cities? They bust them to Chicago, they bust them into Florida, and Florida sent them up to Martha's Vineyard, and it creates a mess. What do they want to do? Destroy the United States? It seems like it. Cause all this commotion and everything else. We don't need that. We just need to have a good government that behaves themselves. Anymore, it's like, how can you tell if a politician is lying when somebody says when they open their mouth? That could happen for some of them. Oh, and today, did you hear about RFK Jr.'s session with Congress? All the questioning? The guy wants to help. Let him help. A lot of people that go into positions that the opposing side likes to demonize people for wanting to help people. And politics shouldn't be about demonizing. It shouldn't be about my side versus your side. And if you're part of the loony party, then you have to vote the loony party way. And if you're part of the regular party, you have to vote the regular party way. You vote for the country. That's the way it goes. You don't vote for any one person. You vote to make the country better, not worse. And I think we were in the worst state of affairs the last 4 years. And I think things started going downhill ever since Nixon. That goes way back. So anyhow, hopefully the FBI agents kind of see the way that they mend their ways, okay, and get with the plan. I used to know an FBI agent in Columbus very well, and he was a character. Loved him, great guy. And I'll tell you what, when the boss said jump, everybody jumps, and that's what it was. So hopefully these FBI agents can get their act together. Oh yeah, something about drones. Have you had drones flying around your neighborhood? In Ohio, Western Ohio, we've had reports of drones in Darke County and Mercer County, and they have chicken farms there, chicken ranches, whatever, but they're there. And suddenly they're coming down with flu, and people are questioning the bird flu. And I kept wondering what is going on with the bird flu. And recently, a neighbor of mine who lives about a mile and a half out in the country from where I live said she had a drone go over her house. And I said, "Were your chickens locked up?" She said, "Yeah, they were in the coop. They weren't out." I said, "Well, keep an eyeball on those things because you don't want them catching any type of a bird flu." And I started thinking about this, and I saw an article, a show from Channel 7 here in Ohio. And let me bring that one up. A rush of drone sightings causing concerns in communities. Let's see if I can
Video
bring it up.
Newsletter 7 has gotten hold of shows some of the sudden rush of large drone sightings in one part of Miami Valley. Newsletter 7's John Bedell spent part of his day in Mercer County talking to the sheriff. He joins us live now. And John, deputies are working to figure out what's going on up there.
Yeah, they are, Cheryl, and they have got a lot of leads to work through on this one because the sheriff told me aside from the ones his own deputies have spotted, they have gotten dozens of calls, mostly at night, all since Friday night, about large drones. John Ellis lives in Salina. He hasn't seen any drones flying over Mercer County lately.
I've not heard of them here in town yet.
But plenty of other people. We got these videos from the sheriff's office showing some of the dozens of recent sightings around it.
Anywhere from being out over the rural area and the agricultural area. Last night they were seen over 3 of our villages for sure. Fort Recovery, St. Henry, Coldwater.
Sheriff Doug Timmerman's office is handling the investigation.
I was on the phone today with some federal agencies. They're calling it like swarming, where the drones are all kind of swarming together, kind of like they're packed up a little bit. So we've seen some of that, several at a particular location at any given time.
The sheriff in neighboring Darke County is also investigating 2 reported drone sightings from Monday night.
Some people buying into a lot of the hype that they're seeing with all the other drones.
Ellis told me he wonders what's behind the drone activity.
And I've seen things where people are attaching lights to them and just flying them around just to freak people out and get people all stirred up. It very well could be that. And who else knows what else could be going on?
Sheriff Timmerman says whatever's going on here might not be criminal, but says he wants to get to the bottom of it.
It is certainly causing some concerns to our citizens, and I feel like it's my job to make sure I try to get them some answers.
Sheriff Timmerman told me he's spoken to members of Congress from Ohio about this, as well as the FAA, and he said the FBI told him they have concerns that these drone sightings are related to the ones we saw near and over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base last month. I reached out to the FBI today through their Cleveland office, which covers Mercer County, and I did not hear back in time for this newscast. Reporting live tonight, I'm John Bedell, News Center 7.
Certainly is puzzling, John. Thank you.
And now you know the rest of the story. Oh, it's somehow these guys just keep talking. I got to get rid of them. Oh, yeah. I mean, can you imagine what would happen if the drones were carrying some type of a bug, we'll call it, and infecting the birds? You know, there's one company that's not too far from where I live, about 15, 20 miles, and they have millions of birds there. And I don't know if they had to kill their entire flock or they had to do that up in Mercer County too, because they have a lot of them up there. It's kind of scary, okay? It really is with the stuff that's going on. And what's that going to do to the price of eggs? The price of eggs are going to go out of sight. Just watch. The price of eggs are going to go out of sight, and it's going to take a while for new chickens to be born, hatched, whatever. Some people say I was hatched. I don't know. They got rid of the hospital that I was born in Greenville, Ohio. Getting rid of the evidence. Anyhow, guys, let's see here what else we've got going on. There was a thing on weight loss drugs, and people were talking about that. I saw that today. Weight loss drugs linked to increased risk of 19 health conditions. Then why put it in your body? Anyhow, this is done by George Citroner from the Epoch Times. And he said popular weight loss drugs like semaglutides, Ozempic and Wegovy, may help protect against over 40 conditions, including Alzheimer's disease, drug addiction, and seizures, a new review has found. However, researchers warn that these benefits come with an increased risk of 19 health conditions, such as I guess that's syncope, which is fainting, and arthritic disorders, and kidney and pancreatic problems. That's all we need is more kidney and pancreatic problems. They said in a study published in Nature Medicine on January 20th, researchers from Washington University Medicine in St. Louis systematically evaluated health outcomes among roughly 2 million veterans with diabetes who were taking the popular weight loss medications known as glucagon, like peptide 1 receptors against or antagonist GLP-1 RAs for about 3.5 years. The media, patients, and even some doctors have dubbed the medications miracle drugs due to their profound weight loss effects. But then they'll have health risks and benefits. Just like with any type of vaccine or any type of medication, you are going to have problems. Not all the time, some of the time. So when you have to have medications, talk to your doctor. Doctor sometimes knows best. Sometimes they don't. So you have to do your own research, your own due diligence, like we talk about. Okay. Oh, a rut row. Pepsi. A Republican congressman introduces Fizz No Act to nuke soda from Snap. You know, people get the SNAP cards, supplemental nutrition. And it says ahead of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s confirmation hearing for the role of Secretary of Health and Human Services, set to begin on Wednesday, which was today. Boy, they were really putting it to him. Make America Healthy Again movement gained momentum with a new bill called Zero for Zero Nutrition Options. In other words, the Fizz No Act. And that was introduced by Representative Keith Self. And he did that. It just basically says you're not going to buy pop on Snap. Just limits what you do. And says Snap was originally created to help the poorest Americans access nutritious food, Self stated, adding, allowing taxpayer dollars to subsidize sugar soda, which offers zero nutritional value and contributes to costly health conditions, is counterproductive. And the Fizz No Act is a common sense solution to strengthen public health and reduce the financial burden on taxpayers. Well, guess what? That healthcare burden is costing taxpayers about $190 billion. And so they take their SNAP cards and they buy junk, not the nutritious foods that they need. They get junk. Oh, let's get pop. Let's get a bunch of candy bars. Gee, I like potato chips too. And what you need to do is think healthy, because a lot of that junk food isn't good for you. Even though we like it, I swear I like it. I really like some of the junk food that's out there, but I just can't really eat it all. You know, now and then, mesquite potato chips. Oh, I love the flavor. And by golly, you open the bag of those and you can just start and you can't stop. The flavor's that good. But you got to stop. Start eating healthy, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. That's the good way to go. So I'm told. However, a good piece of pie, you know, you got to have that once in a while. Wow, what else is going on here? Oh, yeah. How often should you shower? An advice from a doctor who bucked the social norms. He didn't shower for 5 years. Could you imagine that? This was in Yahoo. I saw this today. 5 years. And the guy didn't take a bath. He probably washed his hands, but could you imagine going in to an office or going into the doctor's office or going into anywhere and somebody hadn't taken a bath for 5 years? I mean, what do you do? Put pins on your nose? You know, what do you call 'em? Clothespins on your nose? And you walk around, "Hi, how are you?" "I'm fine, how are you?" "Oh, hey, it stinks in here." Yeah, it does. Oh my God. Well, anyhow, there was a study that was done and it was on CNN. You can see it right here on Yahoo. And, it said our skin is considered our largest organ with a surface area of approximately 15 to 20 square feet. And some people think it's 10 times greater than that. Okay. But this doctor said you walk into any pharmacy, and next to the cold and flu medications, there are aisles of shampoos and soaps. And it just got to me thinking, what's all this for? Said Dr. James Hamblin, Hamblan. And he said, how much of it is necessary for health and how much of this is just personal preference? And am I wasting time and money? Will I be better off if I did less? Well, those are all the questions that Hamblin, a preventive medicine and public health doctor, and then a writer for The Atlantic, wanted to explore. So he stopped showering in the traditional sense of the word for about 5 years. I don't know if I could do that. And of course, he said, I carefully wrote the book that 5 years ago I stopped, and I did. He explained nothing that those years were dedicated to trial and error. In that time, I tried all kinds of different products. And this was, of course, an experimentation of all different sorts of regimens. So I didn't spend 5 entire years never showering. No, but people really wanted to hear that. Well, that's what they said in the storyline. Well, anyhow, he tried different products. I know when I was going to school at the University of Findlay, I was in a class during the summertime, and there was a gal in that class. I will not name her, but we all tried to get to class early so that the last person in was that girl. And I swear she never took a bath. And we all tried to get there as early as we could. So when she walked in the door, she had to sit up front and she had to sit right by the professor. Talk about punishment for the professor. Oh, yeah, she was something else. She had a very high IQ, but she didn't know anything about personal hygiene. Anyhow, oh, yeah, that's all we have to talk about there. I got to talk about the Do Good restaurant. People were asking me about the Do Good restaurant. It's located in Osgood, Ohio. And I was up there the other day with a friend, and I went in there, and by golly, good food. And we went early because you have to have a reservation once it's 5 o'clock on because the place fills up. So I got there about a quarter till 5, and I got a table. And I'll tell you what, it's a great place, but I didn't know the whole story behind it. And I'll tell you what, it's a great place. And their mission is to spread God's word through service and food and feed people's bodies, minds, and souls. And I'll tell you what, it is really, really neat the way that they do that. And before we got there, I'll tell you this, before we sat down, we were greeted and really nice. And son of a gun, we sat down and we were waiting to be served. And all of a sudden, everybody disappeared. And they were back in the kitchen and they had a prayer being said about serving the food and the customers and making sure it was good quality food. And they were praying. And then all of a sudden, everybody came out and they got to work. And I thought, boy, this is really neat. Beautiful place. If you take a look at the restaurant, um, it's a great place. And I found their website, and here's the Do Good restaurant in Osgood. And they have a little garden out to the one side that they've developed. This is beyond this picture. Um, and I'll tell you what, it's nice. It really is. And there's a story about how the Do Good came to be and the people that serve it. And we have a lot of high school kids or a little bit older adults that are actually helping out there. They don't pay them anything, they volunteer. And it's great. It really is. And you can get involved. They have calendars there. You just check them out on their page, Do Good, okay, or the Do Good restaurant. And they have different types of ministries and events there. Okay. And you see ministries and events, and they talk about a lot of different things. Okay. Primarily, guess what? They're serving food. And the money that they get from the food then, not only pays the bills, but it goes to pay for some of the events in the ministry. It's really a neat place. Okay. So you can check it out. And that's the Do Good restaurant in Osgood, Ohio. And then, of course, the restaurant, they have their menus and you can get ready to order. You can need a minute to figure out what you want to get. They have a gift shop and you can view the menu. And here it is. And that salad is delicious. Okay, there are a lot of different places that you go to, but this place is great. And it is reasonable. You can get breakfast, you can get lunch and dinner there. Okay, but it's a good place. Um, Appetizers, roasted red pepper bruschetta. I've had that. It is great. Spinach artichoke dip is fantastic. The stuffed sausage mushrooms. I like a food show here. Salads, they've got the salads there. Caesar salad, I love that one. And the smoked salmon salad is great. Great soups. Sandwiches. I'll tell you what, I had the Cornelius, which was the Italian-inspired sandwich, was made of Do Good pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, banana peppers, mozzarella cheese, and pizza sauce. It's like a pizza hoagie, and it was good. And you get French fries with it, which were excellent. And I also had coleslaw, and it was good. You've got pizzas and sides and everything else. Okay, it's a great restaurant to go to. And if you get there past 5 o'clock, you may have to wait in line, but you can go ahead and you can check things out there at the Do Good restaurant. Now, at the beginning, and I don't know if they have, and I don't know if I can freeze it on the. No, it's order. I don't want to order. I do not want to order. Let me get out of that. Let me get back to, no, I can't get back to about us. They have a lady, and they every month they always take somebody, and the money, the donations that they get are channeled to that person who they are supporting for that month. And there was a teacher who taught in one of the school districts, and she had 4 kids, no husband, and she was diagnosed with cancer. And so this month, during January, they are promoting any donations that are given, and they have a donation box there that's actually a safe. Okay. Any donations that go there will be channeled over to that person. And I was talking to the manager. I believe his first name was Brad, and we had just paid to leave, and I went ahead and made a donation to the box and everything. And I said, hey, has anybody ever talked to her about a couple of different medications? And I mentioned the medications, and he said, you mean those? Oh, I know all about those. And one of them starts as Ivor, And there's another one that begins with Fen. And we got talking, and he said, "Yeah, that's the stuff." And he said there are reports and YouTube videos and everything else about that. And I said, "Well, I saw a YouTube video, and a doctor that was talking, I guess he was a naturopath, was saying, hey, this person had a year to live. And they said, take this Fen and Ivor, and they put them on a regimen of that. And within 6 months, they were totally cured. Who'd have thunk it? Okay." And I said, maybe you can get a hold of that lady and have her check those videos out. Maybe it might be able to help her. I mean, if you got a year to live and there are alternatives that you might want to try, why not? Okay. So, I mean, that's the Do Good restaurant. They have a second floor elevator to get you there, a big area for people to dine. They have another area downstairs with booths and tables. It's a great place. It really is. I think one of these days I'm going to take some more pictures of the interior. We'll go back up there, and we'll have some more information about the Do Good restaurant. I'd love to franchise that to other towns, but I'm not sure the concept would go over well with you. You need volunteers, and that town has a lot of volunteers that really want to help people. They really do. I think they have some staff that are paid, like the probably the chef and the management, but then everybody else, the servers, are students. Excellent, excellent food. I love the place. And it's about, half an hour, 45-minute drive for me to get over there. And it's worth it. It really is. The Do Good restaurant, check them out. If you want to donate to help people out, click the donate button. Okay. Wow. What else is next on the, oh yes, jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes. I had something. Oh, where is it? Is it going to be there or is it not? Oh my goodness. You mean I have to go searching for all of this stuff? Somebody sent me a joke about garden snakes. Did you know that garden snakes can be dangerous? Listen to this. Snakes, also known as garter snakes, can be dangerous. And yes, grass snakes, not rattlesnakes. Here's why. A couple in Sweetwater, Texas had a lot of potted plants. And during a recent cold spell, the wife said, hey, bring them in. So her husband brought him inside. And he turned out that the little green garden grass snake was hiding in one of the plants, probably trying to keep warm. And when it warmed up, it slithered out, and the wife saw it go under the sofa. And she let out a very loud scream. And the husband, who was taking a shower, ran out into the living room, naked to the world, to see what the problem was. And she told him there was a snake under the sofa. So he got down on the floor on his hands and knees to look for it. And about that time, the family dog came up and cold nosed him on the behind. Well, he thought the snake had bitten him, so he screamed and fell over on the floor. His wife thought he had a heart attack, so she covered him up, told him to lie still, and called the ambulance. Well, the attendant rushed in. He wouldn't listen to the protests and loaded him on the stretcher and started carrying him out. Well, about this time, the snake came out from under the sofa, and the emergency medical technician, or the EMT, saw it and dropped his end of the stretcher. And that's when the man broke his leg, and that's why he's still in the hospital. Well, the wife still had the problem of the snake in the house. So she called on a neighbor who volunteered to capture the snake. And he armed himself with a rolled up newspaper and began poking under the couch. And soon he decided it was gone and told the woman, who sat down on the sofa in relief. But while relaxing, Her hand dangled in between the cushions. There she felt the snake wriggling around. She screamed and fainted, and the snake rushed back under the sofa. The neighborhood or the neighbor man, seeing her lying there passed out, tried to use CPR to revive her. And the neighbor's wife, who had just returned from shopping at the grocery store, saw her husband's mouth on the woman's mouth and slammed her husband in the back of the head with a bag of canned goods, knocking him out and cutting his scalp to a point where it needed stitches. The noise woke up the woman from her dead faint, and she saw her neighbor lying on the floor with his wife bending over him, so she assumed that the snake had bitten him. She went to the kitchen and got a small bottle of whiskey and began pouring it down the man's throat. Well, by now the police had arrived. Well, they saw the unconscious man, smelled the whiskey, and assumed that the guy was a drunken fight had actually occurred. So they were about to arrest them all when the woman tried to explain how it happened over a little garden snake. Well, the police called an ambulance, which took away the neighbor and his sobbing wife. Now the little snake again crawled out from under the sofa, and one of the policemen drew his gun and fired at it, and he missed the snake and hit the leg of the end table. The table fell over, the lamp on it shattered, the bulb broke, and it started a fire in the drapes. The other policeman tried to beat out the flames and fell through the window into the yard on top of the family dog, who, startled, jumped out and raced into the street, where an oncoming car swerved to avoid it and smashed into a parked police car. Meanwhile, neighbors saw the burning drapes and called the fire department. The firemen had started raising the fire ladder when they were halfway down the street, and rising ladder tore out the overhead wires, putting out the power, and disconnected the telephones in a 10 square city block area. But they did get the fire out. Well, time passed. Both men were discharged from the hospital. The house was repaired. The dog came home. The police acquired a new car, and all was right with their world. Well, while watching TV, and the weatherman announced a cold snap for the neighbors, or for that night, the wife asked her husband if he thought they could bring in their plants for the night. And that's when he shot her. Wow, what a story. Anyhow, we've got another quickie here about Johnny Carson. I thought I would play that one, and we'll end the night with that.
You feed your dog canned dog food, and do you think if they cost about the same, they are the same? Well, I got news for you. They're not. Just because dog food comes in a can doesn't mean it has real beef. Nope, real beef in a canned dog food comes in this can, the Alpo can. Alpo Beef Chunks Dinner is the only one of the 3 leading canned dog foods that does have real beef. Right. Nourishing meat byproducts and real beef, plus soy, vitamins, and minerals. The real beef could be the reason. Hernandez here. You heard him cry. Come here, dear. Come on. Come here. Here it is. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Right here. There you go. Okay. He's a little frightened. I'll put it down further. There you go. Come on. Come on.
This has to be a blooper.
Come on. Come on, dog. Well, Hernandez is a little spot. Yes, please. Come right. Yes, please. Nice Hernandez. Alpha. Next time you find yourself looking at the can dog food, yes, nice Hernandez. Dog, reach for the can that contains real beef, alcohol. That way you can be sure of giving your dog the meat byproduct and the beef he loves. Now, doesn't your dog deserve Alpo?
Oh, wow. That was a good one. I really like that one. Oh, my God. Well, anyhow, guys, that's about all I've got for this week. And we'll have to do this again next week. I'll have to come up with some other funny stuff. Oh, what a deal. That story about the snake. You know, there have been reports in Florida and in Texas where snakes get into the house. Could you imagine that? Think about it. Rattlers? It's possible. Coral snakes? Possible. And I'll leave you with one thought before we go. Could you imagine if somebody was sitting on the toilet and a snake got in the sewage drain and migrated its way up? Could you imagine the screaming that would go on? Kind of reminds you of, what was it, Porky's 1 or Porky's 2? Well, anyhow, guys, that's all I've got this week. Stop back next week and we'll have some more fun with my world, okay? And hopefully your world is a good world the rest of this week. And we'll see you next Wednesday, my world at 8 p.m. live. And this Sunday, 7 p.m. for Money and Change. And check the show out on Sunday, okay? 7 p.m. And with that, that's all I've got. And guess what? I think it's going to be time to go. And with that, have a good week.
In a world drowning in noise, where truth is often buried beneath layers of propaganda and misinformation, there's a need for a different kind of a network of creators that cuts through the clutter, that doesn't shy away from tough topics, and that delivers the unfiltered truth. We are Trim Radio Network. We are creators, we are innovators, we are investigators. We're the ones who aren't afraid to call a spade a spade. If you're ready to participate in thought-provoking discussions, informational topics, and of course today's biggest headlines, subscribe to our YouTube channel today. We're Trim Radio Network. We're cutting the bull and serving the truth.